Good morning. I just want to talk a little bit today about protest. Had a friend say to me, these protests don't work. I don't know why you guys are doing them. And he's somebody that has similar ideology. So he's a more progressive person. And he's like, why are we even wasting our time on this? And I get it. Um, a lot of people can feel defeated right now. And that's one of the reasons why protests work because of the community. So just by us seeing each other and us representing, the biggest thing we're getting out of that is the messaging to people who have our similar concerns and beliefs that there's other people out there and that you're not alone. So that's the biggest thing. And I want to start with that. Um, I know a lot of us have felt uh, very alone and wondered what's going on. And we've got all this cognitive dissonance between what we see and what Trump is saying. So um, that community, that support is important right now so that we don't feel alone. And then now on the more technical side, the more fact based studies. So I don't know if you've heard of the 3.5% rule, but it basically references that sustained nonviolent protests can work, involving at least 3.5% of the population, and it has never failed to bring about change. So this study was developed by a political scientist named Erica Chenoweth, and she published this in a 2011 book called Why Civil Resistance Works: The Strategic Logic of Nonviolent Conflict. And then she co authored that with Maria J. Stephan. So, why does that work? Some of the key factors for success that she cites here are taking the moral high ground, that nonviolent protests attract a broader base of participants than violent campaigns do. And then they tend to exclude people who fear bloodshed. Um, the wider appeal of nonviolent resistance has fewer physical barriers to participation, allowing for greater diversity and involvement from the population. And large scale nonviolent movements are more likely to cause defections among police and military forces. So, this is really important, as members of the security forces may be hesitant to crack down on large numbers of peaceful protesters, some of whom may be their own family or friends. So, what they saw as the threshold for success here was within their data set, they found every campaign that engaged in at least 3.5% of the population participating in an active nonviolent protest during its peak event was successful. The study analyzed hundreds of political campaigns, both violent and nonviolent, that took place between 1900 and 2006. Now, does that mean that just because we hit a 3.5% threshold, which I think we've got a really good chance of hitting this Saturday, just because we hit that doesn't mean things are automatically going to just disappear and get better. So just remember that this is a useful benchmark and not a hard line 3.5%, and we're going to automatically have success. Chenoweth has provided important qualifications to this 3.5% rule, emphasizing it as a useful benchmark rather than a guarantee. She stresses that the figure is a descriptive statistic from historical examples and not a prescriptive rule that guarantees success if the threshold is met. Other factors that the success depends on vary, such as strong organizations, strategic leadership, and the ability to sustain momentum over time. So pushing. And uh, that has been going on this entire year. There have been performative demonstrations going on, and now we're at this phase where it's more organized, and we're doing a very organized push of resistance, demanding that the Democratic Party don't give in and stand up for our rights. So I hope you'll join the people from Indivisible, the people from Mobilize, all these other groups that are coming together and join Saturday for the Snow Kings protest. One of the other things that I've encountered or concerns I've encountered is the safety and these threats of invoking the Insurrection Act this Saturday and violence against the protesters. So obviously, there's no guarantees to anybody's safety. But I'm going to cite a couple things here. Um, there have been, uh, there was a recent court ruling against the deployment of the troops both in Chicago and in Portland. Then, when that was appealed, the appeals court upheld that ruling. So those are two really strong things in our favor, you guys. Um, the other thing to remember here is Trump's got the immunity, but not everybody else. So these police, these rogue ICE agents, the whole damn ICE department is rogue. These Border Patrol agents, any of these people committing violence against any of the people that are uh, violating our constitutional rights. Uh, um, they are going to have to be held accountable, and they do not have the same protection that Donald Trump has. Um, these factors combined, we're not going to guarantee we're going to be safe, but there's these protections that are in place. So that gives me a lot of confidence to attend myself, uh, to have any of my family members attend. Um, we do have a virtual event. And just let me clarify, I'm just a member of Indivisible. I'm doing what I can to uh, amplify this message. So, Indivisible, Mobilize, these guys are incredible. They have a virtual event too. So, if you can't attend in person, please join virtually. Um, one love, you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope to see you at the Dallas event if you're here locally. Take care, you guys.